Hello friends, let's show off my Wii collection. Now there's quite a few to choose to start with, it's hard to make a selection. But not all of my games are physical. Of the 71 there are 5 that I bought on the Wii U's eShop and are now on this hard drive. Kirby's Epic Yarn is one, and Kirby's Adventure Wii. One introduces you to Prince Fluff, the other has Waddle Dee. Sin and Punishment Star Successor, an on-rail shooter I mention in this verse. And Pandora's Tower, when one's been struck by a curse. Metroid Prime Trilogy, I missed it back in the day. It launched on the eShop at half price, annoyed some sellers on eBay. So let's move to the physical games. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. The trilogy makes this one redundant. Oh well, let's move on without disruption. Let's go back to the beginning and show off this Wii Sports. It showed us what the remote could do in games of various sorts. Tennis, baseball, boxing and golf, but the best was where you could bowl. It became the best selling game of all time, but only because it came with a console. Several years passed by and they brought out Wii Sports Resort. There's also Twilight Princess and Resi 4, each is an updated port. This was made for GameCube, but they waited for Wii. They certainly didn't release it in a rush. And it's not the only game where you can play as a wolf. Here's OKAMI, where you have a brush. Metroid Other M, a much hated game. They made Samus all whiny. A new play control, this one is Pikmin, where all the characters are tiny. Some rhythm games now, I only own few. Beat the Beat Rhythm Paradise. A few Guitar Heroes, Metallica and 3, but I've only played them once or twice. Oh Wii music, where do I start? At E3 they all went caracas. But it's not all bad, in Samba de Amigo you get to shake your maracas. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, a much hyped game and a very enjoyable scrapper. Time to show off some peripherals. Let's start with the Wii Zapper. Link's crossbow training came with the gun. Target practice split into stages. It's a cheap little title, very go for high scores, so beating it will not take ages. But that is not all. A few light gun games. House of the Dead Overkill. And 2 Resident Evil Chronicle games. Let's hope there's no sandwich of Jill. Wii Motion Plus, underused indeed. Motion controls with much more precision. Used with Tiger Woods, which I didn't play much. Buying this was not the best of decisions. Red Steel 2, the first may have been bad, but I shall send your opinions aloft. For this is much better and controls really well, a great effort by Ubisoft. Although this game used Motion Plus well, I think we know what used it best. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was much more effective than the rest. Some hated this game, but I loved it. It fueled my Zelda addiction. I loved the controls and dungeon designs, but I hated Fee and her stupid predictions. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where the moves all look really painful. XENOBLADE Chronicles finally came out. Thank you, Operation Rainfall. Mario Kart Wii is a good racing game, although they don't obey any car laws. It's a fun multiplayer, and it came with a wheel. Oh, by the way, Lego Star Wars. But that's not the only movie game I own. There's one being brought by Panda Bear. GolDENEYE is a shooter. That is pretty fun, but not as good as the one by Rare. A retelling of the story with Daniel Craig, but everything's still for England, James. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. That'll do now for movie games. There are 3 games in a series I own that I feel I shouldn't gloss over. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, the long-awaited crossover. They're all pretty fun and it is nice to see these characters all in one place. But there is still one thing that baffles me. How can Mario beat Sonic in a race? Here is a game where you point and click and solve puzzles with ZACK and Wiki. It could win the prize for most interesting name. Another one would be Epic Mickey. This was a pretty cool idea, delving into Disney's forgotten history. Sonic Secret Rings and the Black Knight. Why they chose to make these was a mystery. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash Up, overshadowed by Brawl. Some people discarded this one as bad, but that isn't the case at all. It's a decent fighting game with the turtles and Ubisoft's really weird bunnies. It has a few manic stages and some good power-ups, but Splinter doesn't make any funnies. Speaking of the bunnies, the Rabbids are here, with their really weird way of behaving. This one is called Rabbids Go Home, and the second of Rayman Raving. Excite Truck was an early game, doing stunts on changing terrain. Rapala Wee Fish comes with a rod, but doing this could cause you wrist strain. Super Paper Mario, a departure for the series, but it is still really fun to play. It has some great humour and artistic design, and I'll take it over Sticker Star any day. One highlight of this was Mr. L, a mysterious alter ego. Skylanders Superchargers Racing. I only bought it for the Bowser amiibo. Boom Blocks is a game where you throw balls at towers, then just sit there and watch those blocks fall. FIFA 09, Mario Strikers Charged, both games involving football. Mario Parties 8 and 9, Mario Sport Mix, both Mario Galaxies, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Whew, I think I got my Mario fix. Some dismissed this game because the multiplayer's bad, but this I must beseech. It's entirely optional, just play it alone, you'll have a great time rescuing Peach. The Galaxy games are a joy to play, but I doubt you need that much clarity. The varying levels, the amazing soundtrack, and those fantastic designs with gravity. Bully Scholarship Edition, you go back to school, have lessons, fight or take notes. I got Wii Play, so did everyone else, it came with an extra remote. Ghostbusters using pointer controls, zapping ghosts with your Proton Pack. Punch-Out was a glorious return, to the joy of the fans of Little Mac. Sonic Colors was the one with the wisps, but then they just kept on appearing. Sonic Riders with hovering transport. That must have taken a lot of engineering. Sonic Unleashed, he becomes a werehog, and those bad guys he must now thwart. Super Mario All-Stars celebrates 25 years, and all he got was a simple port. It does contain 4 amazing games, but it's identical to the SNES. Donkey Kong Country Returns was a joy, and later brought to 3DS. This gorilla was out to stop the Tikis from hypnotising elephants and giraffes. It could have done without the waggle controls, but it was still a barrel of laughs. Donkey Kong Jet Race it's called over here, but it's also called Barrel Blast. Mad World is a violent action game and presented just like a sportscast. This snooker game did come with a cue so you could create the perfect condition. The Conduit's a shooter that I got for £3 and it's even the special edition. Wario lands the Shake Dimension, finding treasure with his trusty hat on. And of course there's WarioWare Smooth Moves where you get to use the form baton. So that's my entire collection and I hope you've had a really good time. Oh, what's that you got there, Tom Panda? Oh, that's not mine.